Welcome to my second part of Chrono Trigger playthrough. This is in a new game. And in this one we will be saving the Queen, returning to the present, and heading for prison. Now, as I stated in the first one, I was trying to keep below level 10 for this playthrough. So I'm avoiding as many fights as possible. Now, in this room we pick up a maiden suit for Lucia. And a bromide, which triggers a fight. And unfortunately, the only techniques we have are Chrono Cyclone and Frog Slurp. Slurp's used for healing. But unlike that first forest battle in the cathedral, this goes a little smoother. After this, we'll finish up this side of the map by opening up the prison next. And grabbing the chest, which has a steel saber, which is equipable on Chrono and was equipped. I just trimmed out equipping it. And these are the Queen's guards, real humans. Now, there are some fights, no matter how much you try, you still get caught in them. That's one of the reasons I failed to keep below level 10. And I will say, it makes the boss fights very difficult. There's really nothing in this room but talk to everybody since they're friendly enough to talk. And follow the one that leaves the room to find the hidden shrine the guard was talking about. And see that his plan is to replace everybody with monsters in disguise. Now, I also believe you can trigger a fight in that room. I just didn't this playthrough. Because we're at low levels, these battles will take a little longer. And now we get the Flame Fire Whirl dual attack, which will double if not triple our power. Alright, he should be getting Slurp Slash in another battle or two, depending on how many are there. And don't be afraid to go and heal. And I forgot I was out of magic points. I should have went out and healed. And that's the poison. And as you can see, having the sight scope equipped on Lucia, regular enemies, you can see how much hit points they have during a real attack. And we lost Frog. After battle, he will heal up to 1 hit point. And we're at level 4 already. So yeah, it's time to heal up. I wasn't even chancing the woods. Just heal up for 10 gold coins. I'm also stopping at the market to get Lucia a better gun, the pea shooter. Unfortunately, they gave her an armor, but they did not upgrade her weapon in this maze. And with that, I should be ready to go to the end of the dungeon. After a chain of fights, depending on how many I get caught up in. That flamethrower does nice single damage. It's a shame I couldn't get them to both line up. See, he had 7 left. Grabbed 3, so that was 6. So we just need one more fight. And Frog should get his next technique, and him and Chrono's double technique. I'll press this switch to lower those spikes. Carefully avoid the fights. Grab the items. Don't touch that switch. And we'll go in for our next force fight, and at the end of that, we'll definitely have Frog's next technique and the double technique, which will really help in the boss battle that's coming up. this is why I like their Fire World combination. If we'd have had that from the beginning, it would have been like that from the beginning. And the forest fights would have gone so much quicker. So even if you're trying for a low level playthrough, at least get that technique. And grab the item, play the organ. And open up the last secret passage. Yeah, unless you really want the experience points, don't touch that button. Now, I made it without getting into a fight. This is a good place to save and use a shelter if you're to top up before the boss fight. And yes, I saved. And now we found the real queen. And it seems the Chancellor's the bad guy. Man, I'm glad we picked up a bunch of those waters from the fights, because those are the Phoenix down to this game. Your raised dead, or whatever you want to call it. Now, if you're too far away from him when he's in counterattack mode and happen to hit him, he'll do that pound around the room, and he'll also use these drill spikes. This cross slash is the best attack against him. Flame whirl is just, it's more for group battles. And take your time to heal up. I only got 5 of those waters. And as you can see, it gives you 50 hit points. And that's the other thing about trying for a low level run. You're not loaded with items. Honestly, if I could have beaten this guy with Frog alone, I'd have left Chrono and Lucia down, so that they didn't gain any levels from this fight, to keep them below level 10. Unfortunately, her sight scope does not show how many hit points a boss has, or parts of a boss when that's available. Now we'll go through the talking. Hit the chest on the right for an item. And if you want to, hit the chest on the left to find the real Chancellor. I guess Eureka, or however you say his name, goes by the philosophy if it fits, it ships. Now Frog will leave the party until the next time we come to the year 600. And now it's time to go get Marel back. And have her join the party. And lo and behold, she's dressed like she always is. Instead of the fancy get-up. Regardless of whether I'm playing a good playthrough or a bad guy playthrough for the trial, I always tell her yes, I would have. And speak to the Queen for a funny scene with her. And say goodbye to Frog for now. Slip through the forest. And sadly, even when I do give up on trying to keep my levels low, I still slip through the forest just to avoid any unnecessary complications. Heal up before heading for the mountains. There's really no more items you need to buy here until the next time we come. Another forced fight on our way out the door. And those rollies are tough, the yellow ones. The green ones are usually a one-shot deal. Now she'll show off how to get home. returned from where we came from in the present time. I think they said it's 1080. Now let's give us our Doctor Who opening credit moment. And yes, that joke's gonna wear thin quick. Now everybody's home. Lucia will leave the party and head home. And we have to take Marel back to the castle. And all of the merchants except one have returned to their homes to stop in, and he mentions Fritz. Get her the iron bow gun and a maiden suit. And the bronze helm. I thought I had one in storage, but I didn't. Now I've got 2 hide caps. Cut through the woods and take her home, and I always make sure to save before going there. Thinking if there was anything else we needed to do before we head here, because once you go to the castle you're stuck there for a long time. First is this mock trial, which will be drugged to shortly. But man, this Chancellor really has it out for Chrono. And the king really doesn't help. Makes you wonder what kind of blackmail material the Chancellor has on him. Or what he knows that we don't. For the trial, if you've done everything correctly, you'll have everybody but one guy saying not guilty. And doing it right is either by not talking to the guy, not doing certain things, so that the situation isn't brought up at all when you go through. Now here, it doesn't matter which one you say, you're still guilty. That's your one guy. That I've proven over 100 playthroughs. Now the little girl whose cat we helped save. She shows up in the courtroom on either side, regardless of whether you help her or not. So to me, it's just easier to help her with the cat. Now he's asking about her fortune. Just say no, not at all. For the good playthrough. For the bad playthrough, say sure, yeah, whatever. And everybody but one guy will come in saying not guilty. And the judge, being in the Chancellor's pocket, obviously, will still sentence you for 3 days in prison. But in front of everybody, he says you get out in 3 days. As we'll later find out, regardless of what this trial verdict comes to, when you get into the prison, you find out you're going to be executed in 3 days. Like I said, this Chancellor really has it out for you. Now we'll be ending soon, and in the next part will be our prison break and our run for the future. And I love how it just focuses in on a blind justice. And with this, we'll end it with Chrono going into the prison. Like I said, he just said he's being executed in 3 days. And this is where we'll leave you and start the next video. The mug will heal your hit points, and the package is a bunch of elixir potions and stuff for being not guilty. And we have a save point. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.